Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm writing about what my mother-in-law did to me and how I got her back for it. So, when will you get this inheritance, Emily? I heard it totals $25 million. You know we can have such a great life with that money. God, it's taking a long time to get processed. These words are my mother-in-law, Cassandra's open thoughts. Ever since I married Xavier, my mother-in-law kept pestering me about my inheritance. I stupidly told her about it when she asked me about my future. Yes, big mistake. She had always been friendly to me after that. I didn't think much of it, but sometimes her persistence annoyed me. My husband, Xavier, and father-in-law, Joshua, always told Cassandra off. They said, Cassandra, you need to stop pestering her about the inheritance. It doesn't matter when or whether she gets it. It's none of our business. Yes, Mom, you're being super rude and annoying. We already have a pretty good life. Emily had a job and I have a good job as well. We are already supporting you and Dad financially. What more do you need? It's a lot of money, guys. You guys don't understand. We could have a much better lifestyle with it. We won't even have to live in this old house I inherited. Maybe we can get a mansion. Wow, Cassandra, you are getting carried away. I don't even know whether I will get the inheritance. The process is pretty complicated. Plus, how do you know I didn't lie about it? Maybe there is no inheritance after all. Everyone started to laugh while Cassandra immediately looked serious. She didn't look amused at all. Instead, she gave me the dirtiest look possible. After that day, she became the worst mother-in-law possible. She was rude, mean, and insulting. Her entire behavior towards me changed. Suddenly, she couldn't stand me anymore. I knew that she was a very greedy woman, so I thought my words must have offended her or angered her. Boy, I was not prepared for what she was about to do. This woman went crazy on me when she thought I was a middle-class girl with no big inheritance. A month or so later, Cassandra did something I never imagined she would do. That day, Joshua and Xavier were out for a fishing trip. I was in my room working on my laptop. When I was on break and went to the kitchen, Cassandra approached me with a disgusted expression on her face. She said in a horrible tone, "You need to come to my room right now. I need to talk to you in private. Don't keep me waiting. It's very important." What is the matter, Cassandra? What's so important? Stop flapping your jaws and come to my room. I told you it's important. I was unsure why Cassandra was calling me to her room. Somewhere in the back of my mind, the conversation of a post-nup suddenly popped up. I was almost sure that this had something to do with the post-nup. I didn't want to stay in suspense for a long time, so I followed her upstairs to her room. Once I walked in, she locked the door behind me. She literally locked the door and held the keys in her hand. I was dumbfounded and said, "What the hell are you doing, Cassandra? What is the meaning of this?" "I'm locking you in my room, Emily. Don't worry. You need to do just one thing to get out. Sign these papers right now and you can leave." Are you mad? This is ridiculous. You locked me in your room to make me sign some papers? What's so important to these documents? This is a post-nuptial agreement. I got it made by a lawyer. You need to sign this saying that you won't claim a cent from Xavier in case you two divorce. What the hell, Cassandra? Why would I sign something like that? First of all, Xavier and I are not getting divorced. Oh, we will see about that, Emily. You can leave that to me. For now, you do me a favor and sign these papers. You can go ahead and read it, but it won't do you any good. I won't let you leave without signing this. I took the papers from her hand and started to read. I was really curious to know how she had prepared the clauses of the agreement. I read through the terms and was shocked. It literally said that Xavier and I couldn't claim anything from each other in case of a divorce. Hell, I wasn't even allowed to get alimony or anything. There would be zero asset division, so we can only keep what we have our names on. It was absolutely ridiculous, and I was immediately angry. I said, "What is the meaning of this, Cassandra? We never talked about getting a prenup or postnup ever. Why did you suddenly make this?" "Things were different these years. I thought that you would get that $25 million inheritance so my son wouldn't need a prenup. But now I see that you are lying and gold-digging witch. You were useless to him and us. You will always be a financial burden to him. So you will sign this prenup, and then I will figure out how to get Xavier to leave you." "Oh, now I see, Cassandra. All these years you didn't want Xavier and yourselves to miss out on my inheritance, so you never talked about a prenup. Now that you heard that I won't get anything, you want me to give up my rights to my husband's assets. Nice plan you have there, Cassandra. Tell me, how will you convince Xavier to join you in this?" "I will make up some story or do something. It's easy for me. I can't let my son marry a beggar like you. He needs to divorce you and marry someone rich. Then me and my family would be able to live a life of luxury. I didn't raise him for years just so he could marry a parasite." "What are you even talking about? Xavier doesn't care if I don't have a large inheritance coming." "Well, I care, Emily. I care if you don't have a big inheritance coming. I let my son marry you because I thought you would help us have a better life. Now I see that you will actually spoil our life by being dependent on my son." I was getting furious with what Cassandra was saying. I was actually glad that I told her there was no inheritance. Otherwise, I wouldn't have found out just how bad she was. Now I understand why Xavier and Joshua are always wary of Cassandra. She is freaking greedy and selfish. This woman literally has no regard for her son or her daughter-in-law. I highly doubt Xavier even knew about the postnup she wanted me to sign. I was ready to give her a piece of my mind. I knew she wouldn't let me leave if I didn't sign. So I let her feel powerful by making me sign the postnup. I said, "I don't want to sign a postnup, Cassandra. I need to protect myself too. If Xavier is in favor of a postnup, we will discuss it and get lawyers. I'm not signing whatever shit you're giving me." "Listen to me, Emily. I'm not letting you leave until you sign these papers. I can do this all day. Joshua and Xavier won't be back from their fishing trip anytime soon. And I know your boss is calling you to get back to work, which is exactly why I need to leave. Now give me the keys so that I can get back to work. Enough is enough." This woman then had the audacity to grab my hand hard. It was starting to hurt. She started to scream in my ear about how I was a gold-digging witch and much worse. My anxiety immediately skyrocketed and I was on the edge. At the same time, my boss kept calling me to get back to my computer. I was starting to get really annoyed and frightened by Cassandra, so I gave in and signed as planned. Cassandra looked pleased with herself and finally let me go. As soon as the door was open, I dashed out and locked myself in the room. Then I called my boss and explained everything to her. She is a sweet lady who is appalled by what Cassandra has done. I told her that I might need some time off work to deal with my monster mother-in-law. She agreed and told me to take the day off. I then took pictures of the bruise that was forming from Cassandra's grabbing and holding me in her room. The more I looked at the mark, the angrier I became. Cassandra really crossed her limits today. I had no idea she was capable of this. I needed to take action and teach her a lesson. I didn't call Xavier that day because he and Joshua were far away. I didn't want to disturb them. Instead, I waited for them to return. Xavier and his father returned the next day in a good mood. They immediately became suspicious of me and Cassandra when we looked glum. They didn't know that we were upset for wholly different reasons. Xavier tried to ask me what was wrong. I told him to give me some time. Cassandra took that opportunity to call him and talk about the prenup. How did I know about this? Well, within a few minutes after Cassandra called Xavier over, he came storming downstairs. He looked pissed and said, "What the hell are these papers? Dad, are you involved in this as well?" "What are you talking about, Xavier? What papers? I don't understand." "It's a freaking post-nup that Mom made for me and my wife. It is absolutely ridiculous." "I have nothing to do with this, Xavier. This is the first time I've heard something like this. Cassandra, what is going on?" "What will she say, Dad? She's only defending herself and nothing else." "I'm protecting you and us, Xavier. This wife of yours is absolutely worthless. She will never help us have a better life. Instead, she will suck you dry. She's a gold digger, Xavier. She lied to you about her inheritance." "What are you saying, Mom? What does Emily's inheritance have anything to do with us?" "You don't understand, Xavier. I know women like her. She will do something to hurt you and then take all your money in a divorce. You need to sign this post-nup and then divorce her when the time is right. Then you can look for a better woman who won't be absolutely broke." Xavier absolutely burst into a fit of rage when he heard that. He started to berate Cassandra, and even Joshua joined him. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Xavier was a complete mama's boy, so I was unsure if he would take my side. But now I could see that not only Xavier but also Joshua was fighting for me. They didn't even know the truth about my inheritance. Xavier had assumed that there was some problem with my inheritance, so it won't come through. They didn't know that I actually received my inheritance yesterday. After fighting for a while, Xavier looked at me with a question in his eyes. He said, "Why did you sign the prenup, Emily? You should have waited for me to come and solve this. You knew I would never agree with something like that. Why did you let Mom get away with this?" "I know you wouldn't have asked for a post-nup, Xavier. I trust you. You have always taken care of me without any conditions. I really did want to discuss the post-nup with you, but I wasn't allowed to do that. Cassandra cornered me and shut me in her room with herself. Then she grabbed me by my hand and wouldn't let go until I signed the papers. I didn't have a choice. I was forced to give my signature." Xavier and Joshua were stunned to hear what I said. What concerned them even more was that Cassandra didn't even deny it or try to defend herself. She looked awfully confident and proud of what she had done. Meanwhile, my husband and father-in-law were furious. They looked at me with disbelief until I showed them the marks on my arm. Then the two of them jumped at Cassandra. They said, "Mom, what the hell have you done to Emily? How dare you touch my wife? This is freaking assault. You literally bruised her." "Cassandra, you have gone absolutely insane. How the hell did you think this was the right way to behave?" "Why are you two yelling at me? I did what was right for my son. I couldn't have let this gold digger take advantage of him. I am your mother, Xavier. I did this with your best interest in my heart. You hurt my wife for me? That's what you're trying to say? How can you be so cruel? Just because Emily isn't getting her inheritance, that doesn't mean I will divorce her. I didn't freaking marry her for money." But you promised you would give us a better life, Xavier. You said you would allow us to live comfortably. How would that happen if you don't marry someone rich?" "Cassandra, what is wrong with you? Xavier and Emily both take excellent care of us. Why the hell are you so greedy? Is this life not enough for you?" "Of course not. I know we can do better only if Xavier marries someone rich. With his status and job, he can easily find someone rich. Just think of how better our life would be." At that point, Xavier and Joshua started to scream and yell at Cassandra. After arguing with them for some time, Cassandra finally realized that she had been backed into a corner. She realized that Joshua and Xavier wouldn't take her side, so she decided to manipulate them with tears. She started to cry out loudly and said, "How dare you make me the villain? I was only trying to do what was best for everyone. I want a better life and I deserve it. I let you all live in my house, and this is how you repay me. You do realize that this house is now a marital asset, and I am equally entitled to it, right? I have every right to be here. I made Emily move in here so that we can take care of you. We literally shoulder all of our and your expenses, Mom. No one here is freeloading at your house. Actually, you know what? After what you've done, I don't think I'll financially continue to support you anymore. I'm done. Me and Emily will move out next month. I plan to move out too, Cassandra. All these years I put up with your greedy behavior because you never escalated. But today, you have crossed all your limits by assaulting Emily and forcing her to sign a prenup. I don't want to be with such a vile woman right now. Dad, you can come with us if you want. I don't mind taking care of you. You are not the one who betrayed me and Emily. Oh, really, Xavier? How will you move out? Where will you go? This girl is broke as shit, so she won't be able to help you anyway. You'll be staying in a shitty rented apartment while she destroys your savings. I know this was my cue to deliver some sweet revenge to Cassandra. At this point, I knew that Cassandra needed a wake-up call to see how stupid she was, so before Xavier could say anything, I said, "You won't have to worry about that, Cassandra. I will be perfectly capable of housing all three of us. It won't be a problem at all." Don't make me laugh, Emily. You don't even have a good job that will feed all three of you. Without my house, you will have nowhere to go. You are nothing but a broke gold digger. Actually, no, I'm neither broke nor a gold digger. I am actually quite rich if you consider the $25 million that I have right now. I mean, not all of it is in money, but I do have plenty. What are you talking about? You said there was no inheritance, and you lied about it. I was bored and irritated with your pestering, Cassandra, so I jokingly said that there was no inheritance. I had no idea it would trigger you this bad and reveal your true face. Trust me, Cassandra. I am now grateful that I joked with you that day. Cassandra was absolutely dumbfounded by what I said. Even Xavier and Joshua were a little surprised by what I said. I saw that the wheels were turning in Cassandra's head already. She was trying to figure out what she could do to make me her friend again. She started to awkwardly laugh and said, "Oh my God, you were joking? You were so silly, Emily. I thought you were serious about not having an inheritance." "That was very naughty of you, Emily. You should have said that sooner. We could have avoided all this trouble." "Oh, really, Cassandra? If I told you that I was joking, you wouldn't have made the postnup, right? And you wouldn't have tried to destroy my marriage, I guess." "I got a little carried away, Emily. I really shouldn't have been so harsh. God, I didn't even give you a chance to explain yourself. That was super rude of me. Here, see, I have torn up the postnup. We don't have to worry about that anymore." "No, Cassandra, you don't have to worry about my inheritance anymore. There is no way I am ever having a relationship with you again. If Xavier is still okay with us moving out and cutting contact, I am in this as well." "Oh, we are definitely moving out, Emily. Mom has done enough to show us how greedy she is. I won't let her take advantage of you after all she has done. We will move by this month, and that's final. Dad will be going with us as well." Cassandra found herself in deep trouble this day. All three of us were firm in our decision to leave. Me and Xavier were already looking at houses and found one about 1 hour away. Within a month, we finalized the deal and were all set to move in. Buying a house and moving in within a month is super easy when you have money. Thankfully, we had plenty at that point. As decided, Joshua was also moving in with us. We were going to take care of him while he divorced Cassandra. Yes, he made that decision on his own and already filed for divorce that month itself. Cassandra did her best to convince us to stay. She begged us for forgiveness and even cried about her sorry state. She did own a house, but didn't have any source of income. She couldn't even claim alimony because Joshua depended on Xavier for money. So neither Joshua nor Cassandra qualified for alimony. In a sick turn of events, Joshua ended up getting half ownership of Cassandra's house because it was acquired after marriage. This meant that she was forced to sell the place. She didn't have the money to buy Joshua out. It was hilarious to see Cassandra lose her own inheritance while trying to get a share of mine. Their divorce took a year because the judge ordered separation. Cassandra cried a lot because she didn't have money to feed herself. She had to sell the house fast to get the money to support herself. Still, she needed to get a job and earn money. Meanwhile, as soon as the divorce was finalized and Joshua got his money, he moved into a small apartment. He didn't want to intrude on our privacy, so he moved out. But we still support him financially because we can.